welcome to this episode of Back to Basics. I'm your host, Kasaya Setnar. Today, we're going behind the formula of LivinGene Cell Detox. Our featured speaker is the formulator of Genetic Lifespan's LivinGene Cell Detox product. She's also a scientific advisory board member, doctor of Chinese medicine, licensed acupuncturist, herbalist and nutritionist with 20 plus years experience. She specializes in plant-based nutrition and integrative wellness, bringing deep expertise in disease prevention and longevity. Dr. Laura Capina, it's great to be with you today.
Hi, Kasaya. Thank you for having me. Hi, guys.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. It's so good to have you guys. We are recording today's call, so we can we'll make sure the replay is available for you. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and Dr. Laura, you go ahead and introduce the presentation and take it away.
Yes. Hi. So this will be our first one. We're gonna do a little series of talks about the toxic world that we live in. So this first one will be more just introduction about what's happening in the world. You know that we can go to the first slide. Our genes evolved in a world without these toxins, right? So you can see on the right side here are all the toxins in our environment. Our DNA is approximately 99.9% identical to what it was thousands of years ago. Yet, in just a few generations, we've introduced hundreds of thousands of synthetic compounds that our ancestors never encountered. The human body is incredibly resilient, but it was never designed for this level of chemical exposure. So the first one here is PFAS. Those are forever chemicals. Those are a group of synthetic chemicals that were developed in 1940s, and they were originally created because they repel water, oil, grease, stains. So they are used in a non-stick cookware, in fast food wrappers, in microwave popcorn bags. That's why those are one of the most toxic things you can eat, because when you heat the microwave popcorn bags, these PFAS will leach into your popcorn. So that's very, very dangerous. One of the worst things you can do. And then, of course, waterproof clothing, cosmetics, even drinking water. So these forever chemicals have such a strong bond that nothing can break them down. So there is studies estimate that over 90% of Americans have detectable PFAS in their blood, which is crazy. It's such a high number. And these forever chemicals, have been linked to immune dysfunction, thyroid disruption, fertility issues, liver stress, even altered cholesterol metabolism. So the next one is microplastics. Microplastics are really microscopic, and they have exploded since World War II. In 1950s, approximately 2 million of tons annually were made. Now it's over 400 million tons annually. And researchers have detected microplastics in blood, in lungs, in breast milk, in placenta, even in brain tissue. An average person may ingest approximately a credit card worth of plastics every week. A credit card worth of plastics. And they may trigger inflammation, they carry endocrine disruptive chemicals, they generate oxidative stress, and they even interfere with hormones because they act as a fake hormones in our body. So the next one is glyphosate. Glyphosate is the active ingredient in Roundup. So that's been used for genetically modified food for crops. Farmers spray these over entire fields, and it goes on our grains, wheat, oats, legumes, even water. And it's very, very toxic. Our H code test shows people who have elevated glyphosate levels, they alter gut microbiome balance, they increase intestinal permeability, they can cause leaky gut, they impair mineral absorption, and again, they also contribute to oxidative stress. So next one we have is industrial chemicals. Again, in 1950s, approximately 10,000 commercial chemicals were made. Today, there are more than 350,000 chemicals and chemical mixtures are registered globally. So, next one we have chronic EMF exposure. We are surrounded by cell phones, Wi-Fi's, Bluetooth, smart devices, cell phone towers, 24 hours per day. And scientists are just now starting to discover what really are the biological effects on our, chronic exposure. And next one is endocrine disruptors. Those are chemicals, compounds, and they interfere with our body's hormone signaling systems. So things like BPAs, parabens in our cosmetics, and they are directly linked to infertility, low testosterone, perimenopausal symptoms, breast health, thyroid dysfunction. So they act like a hormone mimickers. So the body doesn't know the difference. They can either block hormones or alter hormone production or affect like a hormone metabolism. So this is the modern city life that we live in, and our genes evolved over hundreds of thousands of years. The modern chemical environment emerged in less than 100 years. So human biology hasn't changed, but our environment has. We can go next slide. So the human body was designed to detox. So we have about, let's see. So liver. Okay, so detox is happening in our body every second of every day. Okay, if your body stopped detoxing even for a short period of time, survival would become actually impossible. Like detox in today's world is more important than anything. It's even more important than nutrition itself, actually. So it's a fundamental biological process. We have 6 major detox organs. First one is liver. It's the master detox organ. It performs over 500 known functions. About 2 million chemical reactions happen every second, and it processes virtually everything that enters our bloodstream, and it converts toxins into compounds that can be safely eliminated. Hormones, medications, pesticides, alcohol, environmental chemicals. The next one is the colon. Many detox programs focus only on liver, okay? But toxins must actually leave the body. Many toxins are packaged into bile by the liver and released into the intestines. If elimination is poor, toxins may be reabsorbed. And this is called enterohepatic recirculation. A toxin that isn't eliminated is not detoxed, okay? That's why our formula is so amazing, that it covers all the different things that I'm talking about right now. So the next organ is kidney. Kidneys, our body's filtration system. Every day, your kidneys filter approximately 180 liters of fluid. It removes metabolic waste, excess minerals, water-soluble toxins. The kidneys processes approximately 50 gallons of blood daily. So the next one we have is skin. Skin is the largest organ of detoxification. Through sweat, we eliminate heavy metals, BPAs, and various environmental chemicals. And this explains why saunas have become so popular in longevity and detox circles. There's more and more research showing that people who use saunas regularly really have so much less toxin load. The next organ we have lungs. Most people never think of the lungs as detox organs, actually, but we breathe approximately 20 times per day, 20,000 times per day. So every breath removes carbon dioxide and volatile compounds, okay? And the last one we have is lymphatic system. Unlike blood, lymphatic system has no pump, so it relies on movement, okay? So the movement like walking, exercise, stretching, rebounding, massage, dry brushing, it all helps support detox. So our detox systems were designed for nature. You know, our ancestors encountered bacteria and parasites and smoke and plant toxins. They did not encounter all these PFAS and microplastics and glyphosate and all the synthetic chemicals. Okay, so the next slide. What happens when toxic burden increases? So the question is not simply, are we exposed to toxins? The question is, what are those toxins doing inside our bodies? For many people, the process begins with oxidative stress. Think of oxidative stress as biological rusting. Over time, toxins can create free radical damage that affects cells and tissues throughout the body. This often triggers inflammation. So you know how they say that inflammation is cause of every disease, which is true. But what causes inflammation is this extreme toxicity. So toxins create oxidative stress, and oxidative stress is what drives inflammation. Inflammation impairs cellular function, and symptoms are often the last thing to appear, not the first. Next slide. So mitochondria pay the price. Mitochondria, those are the little factories inside our cells, generate approximately 90% of the body's energy. When toxic burden increases, energy production may decrease, oxidative stress increases, and recovery slows. So we've just discussed how toxins can increase oxidative stress and inflammation, right? And one of the first places this burden is often felt is within the mitochondria, the tiny energy factories inside our cells that generate approximately 90% of the body's energy. When the toxic burden rises, the body must divert energy toward detoxification, repair, and defense, right? So over time, less energy may be available for optimal function, recovery, and resilience. But mitochondria are not the only structure affected. Oxidative stress can also damage cell membranes, the protective outer layer surrounding every cell in our body. These membranes control what enters the cell, what leaves the cell, and how cells communicate with one another. In many ways, the cell membrane acts as a cell intelligence gatekeeper. When cell membranes become damaged, cellular communication becomes less efficient. So the toxins don't just create symptoms, they create stress on the very structures that allow cells to produce energy, communicate, and function properly. So over time, that stress may contribute to fatigue, brain fog, slower recovery, and reduced resilience. You see how it affects our whole body. Next slide, thank you. Hormones. So the hormones in our body operate in parts per trillion. So one of the most fascinating things about the human body is that hormones work in incredibly tiny amounts. In fact, many hormones operate in parts per trillion. To put that into perspective, 1 part per trillion is roughly equivalent to a single drop of water in 20 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Yet, those tiny signals control virtually every aspect of human physiology. So the hormones help regulate metabolism, energy production, sleep, mood, reproduction, stress response, body temperature, brain function. It's huge. And this is why these endocrine disrupting chemicals are such a concern. Some toxins can mimic hormones, and some can block hormones. Others can interfere with hormone production, transport, or metabolism. So these are tiny signals, but those are massive effects. And small hormonal disruptions create surprisingly large biological consequences. Next slide. Okay, so here we have the bucket theory. This is actually one of the simplest ways to really truly understand health, okay? So imagine every person has a bucket. Throughout life, things get added to that bucket. Toxins, stress, poor sleep, nutrient deficiencies, inflammation, hormonal imbalances, emotional stress. The body is incredibly resilient. For years, it can compensate. The bucket keeps filling, but most people still feel okay. Then, one day, one more thing gets added. Maybe it's a stressful event, like something happens in the family, or emotional stuff. Or it can be a viral illness or hormonal shift, like a perimenopause or menopause for women, or some kind of toxic exposure, and suddenly the bucket overflows. So most people think that the last thing is what caused the problem, but in reality, it was the total burden that mattered. The bucket has been filling for years. This is why two people can experience the same stressors and have completely different outcomes. One person's bucket is nearly empty. The other person's bucket is already full. The goal is to lower the total burden on the body so it has the capacity to heal, adapt, and thrive. This is the foundation of how I think about health. We don't just chase symptoms, we help empty the bucket. Next slide. So the symptoms of toxic overload. So here we have brain fog, fatigue, low energy, bloating, skin issues, hormonal imbalances, sleep disturbances, mood changes, poor recovery. Those are all symptoms of toxic overload. When you think like, oh, why do I have this brain fog? Or why do I have these skin issues or low energy? It's not just one thing, right? It's extremely toxic body. So these are some of the most common complaints. Me as a practitioner, I hear it every day. The challenge is that none of these symptoms are specific. Fatigue can have many causes. The brain fog can have many causes. The hormonal imbalances can have many causes. So many of these symptoms, what they all have in common is that they may reflect just an overwhelmed biology. So when the body is spending energy dealing with toxic burden, inflammation, poor sleep, and all the things I mentioned, symptoms start to appear. And so instead of asking what symptoms do we treat, we might also ask what is creating the stress on the system in the first place. Okay, next slide. Why most detox programs fail? So one of the biggest misconceptions in detox is that supporting a single organ is enough. Okay, so again, I always like to talk in analogies, like the example of the bucket. So I'll give you another analogy. Imagine your house is full of trash. You clean the kitchen, but the garage is still full. The closets are still full. The bedrooms are still full. Have you really cleaned the house? Of course not, right? So the same thing happens with detoxification. Many programs focus exclusively on the liver. Others focus only on colon cleansing. Others rely primarily only on binders. And each one can be helpful, but detox is a system. It's not just one organ, as I mentioned before, right? There is many organs involved in our detox. So the liver may package toxins for removal, but if elimination is poor, those toxins may simply be reabsorbed. And this process is called enterohepatic recirculation. So in other words, the body takes the trash out and then brings it back in. And an effective detox strategy requires multiple pathways working together, not just mobilizing toxins, not just binding toxins, not just eliminating toxins, but all three at the same time. So the goal is not simply to move toxins. The goal is get them out of the body forever, permanently, okay? So this is what cell detox does. Thank you for the next slide, Kasaya. So this is our cell detox amazing formula. It's 5 detox systems in one formula. It cleanses your liver, your parasites, your microbes, your heavy metals, cellular detox support, right? So if there is one message I hope you take away today is that detox is not a single pathway. The body doesn't detox through the liver alone. It doesn't detox through the colon alone. And it certainly doesn't detox through a single ingredient. Like some people just take one thing, And of course it can help, like just taking a milk thistle. It's nice, it's good for the liver. But as I talked earlier, our toxic load is so huge. So effective detox requires multiple systems working together because the liver processes the toxins. The gut must eliminate them. The body must deal with, with all the microbial burden. Like we all have parasites to some degree, right? So heavy metals must be bound to. That's why we have binders like chlorella. They must be bind and removed. And at the cellular level, unwanted proteins and debris must be cleared away, like the spike proteins, or like these kind of viral proteins. Like you were a baby, you got a flu, you were 5 years old. These kind of viral proteins a lot of times stays in our body. That's why cell detox was designed as a multi-system detoxification formula. Instead of focusing on a single pathway, it supports 5 key detox systems simultaneously. And think of it as supporting the entire journey. You mobilize, you bind, and you eliminate. So that's kind of explains the toxic world, our detox organs, and all, why it's important to address them all at the same time. And in our next session, we'll take a deeper dive into each one of these 5 detox systems.
Amazing. Dr. Laura, that was such a great presentation. I learned so much. I was so fascinated by what you were sharing, and I love this product. Of course, we're talking about cell detox. We want to invite everybody to pick up this product. Like Dr. Laura said, everybody should be taking a detox product. We do live in a very toxic environment, so this is something great place for everybody to start. If you haven't done a cleanse, or even if you have, please try our Cell Detox product. You can get it, becoming a free member saves you an immediate $30 a month. So you can get it for member pricing for just $99.99. So you can get back with the person that invited you to see this presentation. And then next up, Dr. Laura and I will be doing a follow-up session to this. Actually, I think maybe 2 follow-up sessions where you can continue learning about the importance of detoxing the system, how that works. And again, Dr. Laura, I just want to thank you for your expertise. Appreciate your time so much, and we learned so much from today's call. Thank you.
Thank you, Kasai. Thank you.
Thank you guys for being with us.